All right, it is the Global Business Report on the Rise News. We've got another presidential declaration, ladies and gentlemen. We're going live to Abuja. There he is, the governor of Ekiti State, the chair of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi. Let's take a listen.
Progressive Congress leadership and membership as our party's standard bearer in the upcoming contest for a successor to our leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. This is not a decision which I have taken lightly. Indeed, to arrive at this point, I carried out a long and deep self-introspection with the help of my wife, Bisi, and other family members, my friends, my political associates and professional colleagues. I have also traversed the length and breadth of our country to consult and explore with our esteemed elder statesmen and women, traditional rulers, section of party leaders, and rank and file members of our great party, and various non-partisan leaders of thought and opinion. I embarked on these outreach visits, neither with any prior assumptions about what they would yield, nor with any sense of personal entitlement. However, after a careful consideration of where we are as a nation, and the many perspectives which are emerging about the challenges, old and new, which we must tackle and transcend, I am convinced that my entry into the race will offer our members and Nigerians the opportunity to examine competing visions for national rebirth in the best interest of our country. On the foundation of a clear vision of our national future, accompanied by a carefully thought out program of action, that I present my candidature, fully convinced on the basis of what I have experienced, heard, and seen about the demands of the times and the aspirations of our people. It is my conviction that the agenda that I am proposing for our country is one which will find favor with all Progressive Congress members and win resounding traction with the generality of Nigerians. Here then is my motivating testament and confession. I am a patriot, born in this country in the course of the first decade of our country's independence. And I stake a bold claim to say that I am a full-blooded child of Nigeria. I grew up, as did many of my generation, socialized into the ideals of a united and virile nation. In my lifetime, I have witnessed some heartwarming moments of nation and state building that will make any citizen anywhere immeasurably proud. But I've also seen some truly challenging days in our journey of nationhood, which have tested our collective resolve and demanded the exercise of considerable political savvy by our leaders over the years. I have taken as key lessons from the admixture of high and low points we have experienced as a country, that when and where we are charitable to one another and allow our shared humanity, innate spirit of solidarity, hard work, perseverance, and underlying patriotism to prevail, we always succeed in overcoming and thriving through adversity. Fellow Nigerians, that is why on this fourth day in the month of May 2022, before this august assemblage of Nigerians from all walks of life, and those watching from all corners of this beautiful land and beyond, I can boldly and confidently say to our party members and the generality of Nigerians, let us, together, as one people, dig deep into our history and our hearts to revive hope and do the work of faith that will positively re-energize our homes and our lives for the common and the greater good. Despair is easy to spread. Hope can be daunting to sustain, and faith can be severely shaken. But whilst the night may be long, the dawn must come, and it always does. That is why Nigeria is worth fighting and living for. I offer myself as the leadership figure who is willing and primed to work with you, beloved compatriots, to launch and drive the hard work of surmounting difficult times, fostering trust, and building bridges with a view to carrying us in unity, equity, and justice into our new dawn of progress and prosperity. Hope, such as I offer with my candidature, is premised on a shared vision on which we can all agree and for which we of a nation that is more confidently and uncompromisingly at one with itself, serving as home for all of us, regardless of ethnicity, class, age, gender, disability, region, or religion. It is the vision of a nation of multiple diversities in which each and every one of us can recognize ourselves in its fabric and workings as equal stakeholders and co-constructors, complete with all the rights, all the freedoms, and all the duties provided under the Constitution for citizens. The idea and ideal of Nigeria has home to all of us who are its children is one which we can all rally around as a starting point for the unfinished work of national greatness that must be taken to its next phase. To give full effect to this, concrete programs of action will be launched in priority areas that will allow for a revamping of the credibility of the Nigerian state, the promotion and fulfillment of an enhanced social contract, and the rebirth of the national identity. Programmatically, as the standard bearer of the All Progressives Congress, I will be leading the implementation of a holistic and integrated response to the multifaceted security crisis confronting us. To this end, we can expect the retooling of our armed forces, intelligence agencies, and our border guards will be pursued in tandem with an overhaul of our policing system and the phasing in of bold, universal social policies that will enable us decisively tackle poverty and upgrade human capital and security. In this perspective, the deliberate expansion of employment opportunities, youth entrepreneurship, skills development, and innovation, support to the weak and vulnerable, such as we have done in Ekiti State for the elderly with Owo Arugbo and Onje Arugbo, and women's socio-economic empowerment will be treated as just one dimension of our comprehensive response to the costly security crisis that have destabilized us as a nation, as will the pursuit of broad welfare policies that are embedded into a new state-society bargain and the empowerment of all our citizens. The adoption of broad socioeconomic measures that enhance our capacity to fight insecurity must be done at the same time as investment in reinforcing the deterrent capacity of the state through its armed forces, security agencies, and policing authorities. Authority and legitimacy, coupled with deterrence and rapid response, go hand in hand, just as we must better design and interface economic policies with broad social objectives and goals of political inclusivity towards a well-defined outcome, namely the sustained peace, stability, and progress of our country. But let there be no doubt, for the economy to serve broader social and political purposes that enhance human life and state security, stem poverty, and promote national prosperity, my agenda for Nigeria encompasses attention to questions of productivity, diversification, domestic value addition, investment and incentives for research, development, and innovation, and the expansion of domestic revenue mobilization, amongst others. Considerable work is already ongoing in the upgrading and expansion of our infrastructure, and we have the current APC government to thank for that. But one of my prime objectives will be to accelerate this, both through public investments and partnerships with the private sector, while simultaneously ensuring that we enforce accountability and get much greater value for money. By the same token, a major rescue and investment program for the education sector, the health system, the civil service, and the local government system will be launched to reorient each of them for the task of overall national development, progress, and prosperity. Each of these domains can benefit much more from a deliberate and systematic deployment of digital technologies as appropriate to their context. The opportunities will be followed through as an integral part of our program of national rebirth. Compatriots, I fully understand that we cannot secure our prosperity without ensuring that our agriculture sector is able to deliver self-sufficiency in feed our efforts at agro-allied industrialization, and thus meaningfully enable the transformation of the unemployed into gainful employment, reinvigorate our rural areas, foster the coordinated expansion of commodity exchanges, and boost the flow of foreign exchange into the economy. We will prioritize the sector for the multiple benefits it can bring to the agenda of national prosperity and transformation that we'll be pursuing with unrelenting vigor. As part of this commitment, issues of streamlined and transparent access to agricultural finance and the expanded adoption of agricultural technology by farming populations will rank high in the priority areas for our focus. No vision of national prosperity, however impeccable, or program of national transformation, however comprehensive, can deliver the outcomes desired without attention to the planning system of government writ large. We must build on recent successes in restoring our national planning system and our statistical capacity in order to open new forward-looking approaches to development management that is research and data-driven. This will form an integral part of the new e-learn that we'll be bringing to governance as a whole, driven by a philosophy of efficient service delivery, the enthronement of a civic culture, and the encouragement of an empowered citizenry to engage with public affairs understanding that it is the repository of power. As part of this commitment, a holistic approach to decentralization will be embraced and institutionalized so that government and its services are brought closer to our people. Our program of decentralization will also feed into the goals of a stronger, more united, and stable Nigeria. Outcomes which are not only good for our domestic prospects, but which will also benefit West Africa and a troubled international multilateral system. Dear friends and compatriots, I have, for this occasion, shared just a few snippets of what I hope will be the core of the Nigeria agenda under my watch. I embark on this journey with a determination to play my part to the end. I do so buoyed by your many good wishes, freely expressed, and your prayers fervently offered. Let me commend in this contest other compatriots who have already thrown their hats in the presidential ring and those who are still going to throw their hats in the ring for their courage and commitment. I want to commit before you and all Nigerians that I will, in the course of this campaign, adhere to the highest standards of decorum, decency, and respect, which Nigerians expect of their leaders. As we go along, I will have occasion to share even greater details about my vision for our national prosperity and progress, and the program underpinning it without malice or ill will to anyone. Finally, I wish to pay tribute to His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for his fatherly counsel all through the period that I have been privileged to work with him. I wish also to thank all our other living leaders who, in and out of office, continue quietly to labor for the unity and peace of our country. Above all, I want to thank all Nigerians, male and female, young and old, worker and retiree, who have refused to give up on the Nigerian dream. This is my pledge to you today, delivered before you and God. Together, we shall bring that dream to full fruition in our lifetime, and it will blossom to the pride of all Nigerians and the admiration of the world, and we shall return to our place as the pride of the black race and the pride of the world. Let us join hands to commence the work required towards completing Nigeria's unfinished greatness. I am ready. Are you? God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny.
Thank you.
I have waited patiently. I have vision, though I believe. I know I can.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, haven't listened to Dr. Fayemi.
Stand up.
There'll be a brief photo session right here on stage. Your Excellency, you might just hold on a moment with some selected dignitaries. Not to worry for the rest of you. There'll also be a group photograph and other photo sessions later on. But let me invite the following dignitaries to please come forward and come on stage for this brief photo session. Your Excellency, Erelu Bisi Fayemi, please. Wife of the Governor, please. Thank you. Let me also invite the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Otumba Fayemi. Please come forward here. Thank you very much. May I invite Senator Ame Ebute to also join the group here for this brief session. Thank you, sir. Senator Ame Ebute, please. Let me invite distinguished Senator Ibikule Amosu to join this group photograph here. Thank you. May I also invite to join us here Senator Lawal Shuaibu. Senator Lawal Shuaibu, could you come, please? Thank you. Let me also call on Honorable Bawa Buhari. Honorable Bawa Buhari, please join us here. May I, at this point, also invite Jerry Nwohu. Jerry Nwohu, please join us here. Thank you. May I call on Chris Wigwe. Chris Wigwe here, join us. And Professor Adelabu. Thank you very much, Excellency. Professor Adelabu. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This photo session is a brief one. There'll be a more comprehensive photo shoot later at the end of this program, but that is still some time to come. Immediately after this photo session, there'll be an interactive session where members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm will have a chance to ask Dr. Fayemi to speak more on his agenda for Nigeria. Thank you very much.
I was built to be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. And now, a second group will have a photo shoot with Dr. Fayemi.
Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it is. Cause we have our strengths and weaknesses.
Alright, and now may I now respectfully invite our royal fathers who are here, led by the chairman of the Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers. Your Royal Majesty, may we respectfully request that you and other royal fathers now come on stage to flank His Excellency Dr. John Kayode Fayemi. Thank you very much. Please make way for the royal fathers.
And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up. champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the photographers are through with this photo shoot. Thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty and our royal fathers. We thank you very much. Thank you so very much, our royal fathers. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now proceedings in the hall will take a different turn as we will now invite His Excellency Dr. Kayode Fayemi to now move to the center of this hall as we begin the next part of this declaration. And the next session will be an interactive one, where members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm and civil society groups will have an opportunity to ask His Excellency to speak in more detail about his agenda for Nigeria. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. As I said earlier on, this is the other part of this declaration that will involve an interaction with Dr. Fayemi, who's right here. And for this session, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, journalists, civil society groups, and other interested Nigerians will have the opportunity to seek more on this agenda that Dr. Fayemi has presented at today's declaration. Maybe it would help a little bit if I stood up and yes, this gives me a better view of the whole. I'd just like to quickly take up some time to acquaint you with the procedure here. For those who will be asking questions, there are microphones at strategic points within the hall. You'll be expected to move to the one closest to you. And for those who will be asking the questions, we'd like to encourage you to be very brief, to go straight to the point. Please do not bother about what has come to be known in our country as protocol. Skip all of that. Keep the questions straight to the point. try to avoid those double-ended questions that might need some listen to over and over again. So keep the questions brief, straight to the point. That means we can get in more people who would raise the issues, and Dr. Fayemi would be willing to address whatever matters you might raise here. I do believe that we're set to get on that session, Your Excellency. And yes, if we are set, we would commence. And please remember to introduce yourself and what medium you represent or what society you represent. That would make it a lot easier for us to know who is. So we'll start off from I must say, well, we're gender sensitive. And so we'll start off with the very first question. Please. There is the microphone stand, okay, well, they'll bring a microphone to you. Please introduce yourself and who you represent, and let's quickly go to the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. My name is Tomu Okiwale Shonaya. I represent Women Radio. I'm aware of what Ekiti State has done in terms of gender sensitivity. I know that the women and girls in Ekiti State, their rights are protected. If you become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what will be your woman agenda? Because you spoke about Nigeria becoming the giant, becoming the giant of Africa, being accepted in the Committee of Nations. So what would be your woman agenda to ensure that half of the women, half of the population of Nigeria is protected? As I said, I want you to refer to what you're doing in Ekiti State and what you will bring to the fore. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take a number of questions and yes, please.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, all excellencies here. My name is Ngozi Alebu. I represent Arise News right here in Abuja. Congratulations, first of all, Your Excellency, for your declaration. Very, simple questions. Two questions that I have for you. Impunity. How do you plan to tackle impunity at different levels of government? Because that has been a major challenge in Nigeria. And then when you talk about decentralization, is that another word for restructuring? Is that the plan? Exactly how are you going to go about doing that? Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you. We'll just take one more and then allow His Excellency to respond to the issues. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, His Excellency. My name is Muyiwa Adeyemi. I have two questions to ask, maybe 1A, 1B.
Sorry, do you represent a civil society group or a media organ?
I'm the political editor of the Guardian newspaper.
Right, thank you.
His Excellency, my first question is, I think at the stage we are now, the first issue is about securing the ticket of your party. And we know there are many gladiators in the APC. The numbers is still counting. For the primaries, which option will you prefer? Consensus, direct, or indirect? Secondly, sir, anybody who has the opportunity of following your political trajectory, I think when your first term,
I've asked these questions. Stone Okewale, Women Radio, Ngozi Alaigu, and Muyiwa Adeyemi. What will be my agenda for women? Well, I think the best way to judge my agenda for women is to really look at what I have done in my 8 years almost 8 years as governor, and in my capacity as chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, coordinating the activities of my brother governors in the 36 states. Well, in Ekiti State, women have attained the pride of place. And we've done that through a range of measures. Law, policies, and programs. In my first time, we had a law in place to address a matter that was really very fundamental to all of us, but particularly to women: sexual and gender-based violence in our society. And we were the first state to have a register of convicts on gender-based violence. Now, it's commonplace. Other states have put that in place. But we went a step further by the time I returned during my second term in office by starting what we called a name and shame policy. It's not enough for you to be convicted by a law court for gender-based violence. What we also insist on, because our people are more concerned about the shame done to them within their community than simple conviction in a law court. And we name and shame those who have been convicted and put this information right around their community. And when you know the way a typical Ekiti community is and the pride with which we exude character and integrity, that is something that has activated moral suasion, not just legal punishment. But beyond that, we have also taken steps against female genital mutilation, for example, by prohibiting it, expanding the law on violence against Persons Prohibition Act. But we've done this in Ekiti State. But in addition, in my capacity as the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, we declared in 2020, on June 10, 2020, we declared an emergency against sexual and gender-based violence in all the 36 states of the country. At the time we did this, only 14 states had signed up to the VAP Act in Nigeria. Today, 30 states have signed up to the VAP Act. In Ekiti State, we have a law, not just a policy, of insisting our parliament, the Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly is there, and I must commend him and all members for that. They worked with us and passed a law granting 35% positions, both appointment and elected. And that's a tough call in politics. It's still not where we want to be. It's still not parity with the population of women in the entire space, but it's a significant step. If you consider the difficulty our national parliament has had in putting the same law in place, you would understand how much distance we have traveled in Ekiti. We have not just put laws in place against sexual and gender-based violence, we've also put provisions in place in our healthcare system. We have a sexual assault referral center with all range of psychological, psychosocial, and medical support for victims of sexual assault and gender-based violence. But we also have a range of empowerment schemes particularly for our women, because it's not enough to have laws in place. Gender violence, discrimination against women is often about power relations. Who has power? Who wants to control? And if you don't have the resources to live an independent means of existence, it's very difficult for you to just say, oh, if you're assaulted, walk away. Many women would like to walk away from violence, but they don't have the resources and the wherewithal to do that. And for us in Ekiti, we feel that empowering our women by providing them with alternative means of livelihood beyond dependence on their spouses is something that is critical to our own approach to this. So these are things that would be done given the opportunity as president of our country. And a lot of those things that we've done has now been escalated by virtue of the fact that I hold the position as chair of our governors. And many of our states are putting up a lot in that regard. Finally, you cannot talk about empowerment and about protection of women without education of our girl child. So for us in Ekiti, we are very passionate about that. We have not only free, but compulsory education for all the girls child right up to senior secondary school 3 in our state. And we also have other means of supporting our women. You may be aware we have a female head of service. In my first term, I had 2 female deputy governors. This time around, because we're also sensitive about the elderly won the argument, and I got a deputy governor who is a representative of the elderly in Ekiti State. But from what is happening, I see that the women folk have won the argument again. My successor in office, by God's grace, is going to have a female deputy governor. So we're on our way to having the first governor of Nigeria who is female in Ekiti State. Those are aspects of what we would do, policies, laws, as well as programs that would enable women to come into their own in our society. Ngozi, impunity, this is a serious issue. There are a number of dimensions to the impunity that subsist in our country. I always say something that as a leader, it's not enough to be competent, particularly in Nigeria. It's also not enough to be committed and compassionate. What is often lacking in Nigeria in the leadership is the courage to do that which is right, to take on forces who consider themselves principalities, people who believe that they are the owners of this country, and then do whatever they like, and believe that the law cannot catch up with them. We will not be arbitrary, but we would be very, very finicky about upholding the rule of law and access to justice for all Nigerians. I think that is the first thing to deal with on questions of impunity. But there are different levels of impunity. We need to also make sure that we do not leave our people with the temptation to do the wrong thing under the guise of religion, culture, and what have you. We must at all times be ceaseless advocates of citizens' rights, as well as responsibilities. Because when you have rights, you also have responsibilities as citizens in the country, and we must uphold that. Finally, impunity reigns because our judicial system is decrepit. The entire justice sector system in our country is problematic. If you look at the journey from investigation of a crime to conviction of a crime, you would have forgotten that the person actually committed the crime. And I think swift delivery of justice, access to justice, accountability in society are things that we need to pay significant attention to. And we need to also support our judicial officers so that we will not again tempt them to resort to other means of, misbehaving. because the state has not taken on its own responsibility in terms of remuneration, in terms of support for the work of our judicial officers. Is decentralization another word for restructuring? Not exactly. One thing that I have seen in the course of being a politician is that words matter to our people. Symbols are important. Sometimes they tend to override substance. And restructuring means different things to different people in Nigeria. Decentralization that I talked about is an administrative mechanism that ensures that we have an inclusive society. And as I said in my speech, government moves nearer to the citizens. That is simply what decentralization is. It gives for greater accountability, it gives for greater access to the citizens, it promotes inclusiveness and ownership by all and sundry, and it does not create a them and us. 90% of Nigerians, they don't know where Abuja is. They've never been. They hear about it. That some people are in Abuja who take decisions on their behalf. Is that democracy? We have to ask ourselves that question. How many of us vote in an election in Nigeria? Averagely 30%. And yet, access is not provided for citizens. If we have decentralized governance, it will provide that. And now, I'm not saying that decentralization would necessarily eliminate all forms of corruption in society. No, we have seen challenges in local environment, but it would give the citizens greater access to those in authority, rather than hoping that one day they will have the chance to go to Abuja to see the people who are presiding over the affairs of the state. And that is why, for me, decentralization is a sine qua non for efficiency of government.
Right.
Mr. Fayemi, which one am I for? Consensus, direct, or indirect? I'm adjusting myself. Well, let me start with the constitution of our party. The constitution of the All Progressives Congress says that mode of primary can either be direct, indirect, or consensus. Now we have an electoral act that says for us to have consensus, all players must sign up to it. For me, really, yes, we have a lot of people who have expressed an interest. And I think we must commend the party for being so popular to attract this caliber of Nigerians offering their services to the country. I think for me, Nigerians, we also must feel the pulse of our people, the citizens of Nigeria. I believe from all my travels around the country over the last 1 month, I believe both inside our party and even outside the party, the sentiment would appear to be for anything but consensus. But that is because people want to have a say. And don't forget, we have a president who has been an advocate for bottom-up political practice. President Buhari is known for his passion for every member of the party having a say in the decision that affects all of them. So in that sense, I have no problem staking a claim to a primary process, whether it's indirect or direct. I don't have a problem with that, and my preference would be for either of that, because it will give us an opportunity to engage Nigerians, to share further details of the snippets I have just articulated in my agenda for Nigeria, and to give party members the opportunity to decide on the basis of the program that we have offered. And I'm reasonably confident that I'll carry the day in that context.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, perhaps to make this a lot easier and smoother and faster as well, we would adopt this next method. This is being transmitted live, and as you all know, television time is very expensive, and we must keep within the allotted time. So let me go straight and ask Benga Aruleba, who's in here from the AIT, to please step up and ask his question. And yes, and we would appreciate if you kept the question straight to the point and very brief. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I have your mic.
I am Benga Aruleba. So can you please sit down? Well, thank you, Cyril. That was a coup. I wasn't prepared for this. But Omoluabi John Kayode Fayemi, 2 quick questions for you. You spoke about your plan to evolve what to call integrated response to our security challenge. I'm sure you know that if the APC government is to be rated, the APC government will rate very low on security issues. Now, this is your integrated approach. Will it recognize the roles of the subnational government in tackling the monumental problem of security that we are facing? For instance, let me just be pointed. Will you give state police a push? That's number 1. 2, sorry, please. Where did I do that? With your declaration now, if my statistics are correct, there are about 4 APC governors now that have indicated interest in taking over from President Muhammadu Buhari, and that number of ministers as well. Does this say something about something fundamentally not right within the APC? Is it that the top echelon of the party have realized that for almost 7 years, you have not particularly delivered on some promises, and there's this eagerness on the part of some of you young talks, I'll call you, that eagerness to correct the mistakes of the past 7 years?
Thank you, Benga. Perhaps His Excellency would do to address that within 5 minutes, if that's possible.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Benga. Clearly, when I talk about integrated framework that would enable us to tackle the challenges of security, I'm talking about a much more coordinated strategy that would enable us to reduce interagency rivalry, that would enable us to redefine our force posture, and then also respond appropriately in terms of equipment to use and in terms of the intelligence we gathered. And in doing that, it is multi-level. It's not just federal. It's not just state. It's not just local. It would have to involve all elements of that. If that is what you are calling state police, I don't call it state police. I call it multi-level policing that would accommodate the range of needs in the country, because even our traditional rulers, they play a very central role, particularly in intelligence gathering. There's hardly any community you can get into in Nigeria, if the traditional intelligence facility is still effective, that they will not know when a non-resident has entered their community and what that non-resident is doing in the community. So you cannot just use a federal arrangement to get that. You need to embed whatever you're doing within that local context so that you can have a feedback mechanism from the traditional system into the state system and into the federal system. But that's not just what I'm saying. When I talk about integrated security system, I am saying that, yes, we need to tackle the immediate challenge by organizing our security system in such a manner that they can combat banditry, kidnapping, insurgency in one fell swoop. But beyond that, I don't know of any terrorist, insurgent problem anywhere in the world that was solved only by force of arms. So when I talk about integrated nature, I'm also talking about the comprehensive social response to this, because we all agree that there are sociological underpinnings to crime in our society. It's not just that people wake up and like to get into criminal activities and brigandage. Some get into it out of desperation. Some get into it out of ignorance. So we need to tackle the forces of ignorance, the forces of hunger, the forces of inequality in our society responsible for these broader challenges. As important as it is to tackle it militarily and via effective policing, that would have to go side by side, a comprehensive, if you like, Marshall Reconstruction Program. Let me be practical. The Northeast, interestingly, has witnessed a significant reduction in insurgency. All commendation to the current administration. But we have also witnessed almost simultaneously an upsurge in the Northwest of criminal activities. And there seems to be an inextricable link between those responsible for Boko Haram and ISWA and those that are involved in banditry. So we need to have a clearer understanding of the security complex and then look at how they're fighting. Take the Northwest, huge savannas with communities much farther apart in plain lands. That tells you that you need forces that are more mobile, maybe with gunships mounted, because the insurgents themselves, the bandits, that is why they come in droves on motorcycles, because they cannot walk all those distances. And if you're going to respond to them, you need to respond to them not with tanks, but with more mobile vehicles that would enable you to take them on in broad daylight, because it's plain lands most of the time. You also need better intelligence, but you most importantly need technology, drone technology, satellite technology that would give you all the necessary information in order to tackle these people.
Thank you so much.
So that's, he also asked about APC governors. I think you should commend APC governors, Mr. Rileba. If you have 4 APC governors that are running, I hope maybe more would even still come, we don't know. But I don't even know the 4 that you are referring to. But the important point to make is that we are genuinely concerned about building on the gains of this administration and addressing the gaps that we have seen. That, for me, must be the way to address.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Unfortunately, because we had pressed for time, we might not be able to take as many questions as we would want to. So we have
sorry,
space.
I think you have...
well, I have your microphone.
One.
Well, thank you so much. But
the man who had your mic.
Yes, we
but I can also answer your questions outside of this
Yes.
Please, if you would like me to, if time is already
Yes,
up.
thank you very much. We would need to streamline things. There's going to be an opportunity to ask more questions out there at the foyer or during lunch. Would like to crave your indulgence to bear with us at this point in time. We had pressed for time, but there's just one more we would want to take here, and this is from civil society groups. Ezenwa Wagu. Right. I see some movement. Is it within the room here? Okay.
It's not,
obviously. Well,
I think you have a lady.
Okay. Okay, please go ahead and introduce yourself. And yes, go ahead. And they'll take the microphone to you. Yes, please.
Fayemi, you are welcome to FCT. I will not say if you become the president, but I will say in the mighty name of God. What I saw you reading now, I am convinced. You didn't look at any paper or any speech. I am impressed. And your wife, Erelu, I read the song, because of you, in my house from Monday to Sunday. Because of you, I congratulate you. Dr. Fayemi, please, our train was attacked around Kaduna, and you went to war school. You studied war. What advice have you given to our president to help us rescue those people in their hands? We are all here getting ready for 2023. And a lot of our children, they are in the forest with Boko Haram, terrorists, whatever they call them. Then number two, I don't have like 2 months now in my house. And I live in the heart of FCT, Apo Resettlement Center, opposite ShopRite. I will see Indians with light. I that went to Nigerian independence 1960, I will not see light in my area. What will you do about that? Then, wait.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, number 3, sir.
I'm sorry,
sir.
We'll
please.
take just 2 questions. Thank you.
No, please, number 3, sir.
Thank
Employment.
You.
I have a son that left ABU Zaria 9 years now. He has no job. And your people have refused to retire a lot of permanent secretaries that reduce their age.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you very much. Thank you. Let me commend. Thank you very much. Let me commend Mama FCT for your passion and for speaking truth to power. Because it's clear that you spoke from the heart. And may God bless you for being frank. You asked 3 questions. What advice are we giving our president? First, let me say that maybe because I'm privy to some things that may not be easy to reveal publicly. The president of Nigeria, President Buhari, is really, really doing a lot on security. Yes, you are interested more in outcome rather than input, but there is a lot that the government is doing that the government cannot even talk about at times. However, there are also areas of impediments that we need to tackle quickly, if you ask me. And I've had cause to share some of this with our principal officers in the security sector, given my background that you spoke about. First, this country was able to recruit in an emergency manner. In 1967, it moved from an army of 10,000 to 250,000 within a space of 1 year. Today, there are all sorts of bureaucratic impediments that are not allowing us to expand the men and women that we have in the armed forces and in the police. And we need to do that quickly. If we're not able to do that in the shortest possible time by clearing away those bureaucratic impediments, we need to bring on board our reserve elements who are still on duty. Our soldiers, even in retirement, they are on duty. Major generals, colonels, brigadiers, they're all over the place. Many of them would love to serve and help tackle this problem in the shortest possible, because it's a problem of men. We don't have enough people in uniform. And even the ones we have, they are undertaking police duties. There is no single state in this country today where you don't have military officers and soldiers patrolling on internal security issues. That's not the job of a soldier. Yes, sometimes you may need soldiers to act in aid to civil authority, but those are exceptional circumstances. We need to populate our police. Egypt is not even half of our population. We're 200 million people. Egypt has 1 million policemen. In Nigeria, we have, well, we always tell ourselves we have 350,000 policemen. 150,000 amongst them are doing VIP duties. So not only do we have to expand and turn maybe our schools during vacation, because part of the problems they have is training facilities. We may have to turn our schools during vacation to training camps for those that we want to bring into these forces and do accelerated training for them so that we have more men in force. 2 is equipment. As I was talking about operating in a savannah environment, a new order of battle, a new force posture has to be developed by our military, because we are not fighting conventional war. What we're dealing with now is unconventional. More often than not, you don't even see the people that you're fighting. So you need to devise counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism measures that would go beyond infantry and other mainstream approaches to warfare, because we are at war. What happened in Kaduna on the train is an indication that we need to take immediate measures. Around the suburb of Abuja, I hear some of these things are also beginning to happen, and we need to really watch it. And I believe the president, is not a man of many words. He's taking so many steps that some of us may know and not be able to speak to, and is also preventing many dangers that they can also not come out and say, yesterday we foiled this particular attempt to destroy this particular community or city. It's ongoing, and it's a continuous work in progress. We must really have faith, but we must take adequate steps on intelligence, on having better recruitment, and on equipment in order to address the issue that you've spoken about. Electricity, for me, I think the solution is it's time to do away with a national grid. we now need to begin to look seriously in the direction of zonal or regional grids, or even micro and mini grids outside of the mainstream official national energy grid. It's the only way to solve this problem and focus our energy on renewable energy as well. If we don't do that, it's Band-Aid or bullet wounds. This national grid is completely broken, and fixing it every day it crashes is a problem that we cannot easily tackle. On employment, I did speak to that, but for me, it is not the job of government to start focusing on employment, but it is our job to provide the enabling environment for private sector to thrive, for the agricultural sector to thrive, for the infrastructure sector that we have to create jobs. And there are so many jobs tied to these various critical segments of our economy. That is what we need to do, in addition to addressing questions of skills, because we talk about employments. Majority of our young people don't have the requisite skills to do the job that is necessary to do. We need innovation, we need creativity, we need technology, we need skills, in addition to providing the enabling environment or to allow this to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier on, we are hard pressed for time, and so we have to move on quickly to the next part of this declaration, and this will involve endorsements by a few of the dignitaries who are here, goodwill messages. But I must first set the parameters to say this will be done within the space of just 1 minute. And this is because of the constraints, time constraints that we do have. But first of all, let me seek the royal indulgence of His Royal Majesty Oba Gabriel Adejumo. Being a respecter of tradition, I do know that in most climes it is unheard of to ask or give directions to a royal father. So if my smattering knowledge of the Yoruba language doesn't fail me at this point, what I'm about to say is Owulenumi. So may I appeal to Your Royal Majesty to keep the endorsement very short, within 1 minute. Thank you, Your Royal Majesty. Oba Gabriel Adejumo will start off the endorsements and goodwill messages. Thank you.
Your Excellency, all dignity here present, what I have to say unto the Lord? All we have to say is, thank you, Lord. We thank God for the life of our son, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, that capable, able, intelligent, to be presented to the entire nation. That is vying for the position of President of Nigeria. This is a great thing for us in the Ekiti State. And we have our backing. That was why you can see us, that we are many here coming to this gathering. You know, Oba doesn't do politics, but we are doing it because of him, to back him up, to know, let Nigeria know that Ekiti Obas and the entire Ekiti, sons and daughters, were behind him. God bless you. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much, Kabiyesi, for keeping it short. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me call on the next speaker, this representing women's group, Ene Ede. Thank you very much. If you're within the hall, you're nearby. Yes. 1 minute or shorter, if you can manage that. Thank you.
1 minute is okay, but I will take more than 1 because otherwise we charge. You know, the VAP Act is enforced in FCT, and we will charge you for violence against women constituency. Your Excellency, let me first of all say, when I was coming here, a lot of people said, "Why are you coming here? You believe in female presidency, you believe in Igbo presidency, you believe in diversity, social inclusion. So why are you here?" I said there are other issues that we need to deal with. Your Excellency, with due respect to you, I would like to say that Her Excellency here has led us in a movement to make sure that we mitigate violence against persons in Nigeria. Under UNGWA GVB, that is Nigerian Governors' Wives Association, she has been the president. I worked with her closely. So I'm not here for psychophancy. I'm here to also be able to see hope, because 3 months ago, my only biological child, 32 years, very promising, who was supposed to have left this country for Canada, was killed. He went out with his friends. So that is why I can connect to the program of violence against women. So, Excellency, I'm not here campaigning for His Excellency, but once you are able to mitigate violence, there will be unity, there will be peace. All that we are talking about will be easier to deal with. And I'm also aware that, I remember that the Minister of Humanitarian Disaster Management and Social Development had attested to this and met with the Governors Forum, has also met with NEC, the highest governance structure in Nigeria. I know she attested to the fact that it is only in Ekiti State. I can connect to this because I'm just coming out of trauma. It's only in Ekiti State you have 280 bed space shelter. You don't even have 100 in Abuja. So you understand what we are saying. So what my sister Tong said, the owner of the Only Women Radio, she's not here for psychophancy. We connect because we believe in good governance. A lot of people are discouraged. A lot of people are worried that it's like Nigerian presidency is just a comedy. It shouldn't be so. Governance is serious issues. People are discouraged and there's a need to give them peace. So I'm here to add my voice to the fact that we believe in good governance. We believe that people can live in peace. We believe that leadership and governance can be simplified. For now, it's been made too technical. To let it be simplified, and Your Excellency, I know you will do more in terms of leading the fight against violence against persons in Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kayode. Thank you. May I go straight to call on Comrade John Oda, who's here in the hall. Comrade John Oda, is he here? All right, and moving on, may I call on a student's representative, Modupe Mary Adetiba. See here, Modupe Mary Adetiba. Oh, right, thank you.
Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm Modupe Mary Adetiba. Your Excellency, I congratulate you for taking that bold step to listening to the yearnings of Nigerians to run for the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. While we believe on your mandate, Nigerian students and Nigerian youths, we envisage a society under your leadership that will not wait till our ASU embark on strike before their demands are being met. A society that will constructively engage Nigerian youths and students to be youthful and useful. We emphasize on a society where Mr. Musa from the north, Mrs. Chidima from the south, Mr. Ogundabede from the west will be confident to send their wards to school without fear of insecurity or kidnappers. Pauline Asen once said, and I quote, "To survive peace and harmony, united and strong, we must have one people, one nation, and one flag." Your Excellency, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, we believe in your leadership, we believe in your antecedents, We believe in all that you represent. Distinguished leaders and stakeholders, to make Nigeria move forward, we stand with Dr. John Kayode Fayemi as the next president, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the foundation of every state is the education of its youth. We believe in you. We believe in your capacity and capability to deliver. Together with Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, we will make Nigeria great again. God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am Modupe Mary Adetiba.
Thank you very much. And we'll proceed quickly and call on Hamzat Lawal, the youth group representative. Hamzat Lawal is in the hall here. Hamzat Lawal. Oh, yes. Thank you. 1 minute. Ushers, please. Okay. Have the microphone for 1 minute.
Thank you. Okay, I think I have a loud voice. Congratulations, Your Excellency. I'm privileged to know you and work closely with you. In 2016, we had issued a joint statement with Global Rights and Follow the Money, saying that 30 children had died in Shikira community, Kagara local government, Niger State. You had worked closely with Amina J. Muhammad, who at that time was the Minister for Environment, and now the United Nations Deputy Secretary General. With your joint intervention, over 300 children's lives were saved. As a young person, you have inspired, and you continue to inspire my generation. You're not only inspiring because you occupy public office, but because you're a good man. You have led with compassion. You have led with dignity, humility, and simplicity. You have showed up for many that have attested. If it is the will of God, I pray that you are blessed with a platform to continue to serve. Nigeria is currently on a trying time. We need a leader that would unite us. We need a leader that would lead from the front. We need someone that would join us in the field and would appreciate intergenerational dialogue and equity, where you would see a young person and believe that they're part of the solution, not the problem. Congratulations again. My name is Hamzat.
Thank you very much. And now, on behalf of Akokites, graduates of the University of Lagos, High Chief Dr. Henson Aimofume.
Stand on existing protocol. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I represent AGITAD. AGITAD stands for Akokite Graduates Initiative for Transparency and Development. For the non-Akokites here, it is my honor to co-opt you as Akokites. Great Akokites! Great Akokites! For the greatest Akokites! Great! We are offering our principal, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, for president to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is a loan that will last for 8 years. Because it's our product, I remember in our days in the Students' Union, in the Parliament, 84-85 session, who was a great parliamentarian and a student activist. We saw in him the trait of a great leader. We are bringing him on board for these reasons. He has the ability, he has the capacity, he has the intelligence, and above all, he has the integrity. I have no doubt that Dr. JKF will make a great president. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, High Chief Dr. Hansen Aimofume. And now, representing people with disability, let me call on David Arieli. Is he in here? People living with disabilities? Right. Do we have the microphone handy for him? Thank you. Right, thank you.
Okay, my name is David Obinna Anyele. I congratulate you, Mr. Governor, for your audacity to declare your intention to provide leadership for Nigeria. And I also must commend you for bringing civil society groups to observe and to listen to your agenda. In particular, for bringing disability in your conversation. I'm aware the people of Ekiti, people with disabilities, they've informed me of all the good works you've done. In particular, the passage of the Disability Bill in Ekiti State, the setting up of the Commission for Persons with Disabilities, the appointment of SSA on persons with disabilities, the constitution of the board of Ekiti State Commission. All these are the things that average Nigerian with disability is looking forward to see in all the 30 states of the Federation. You've made us proud in this regard. As you forge on to negotiate with your party to give you the mandate to lead this country, I'm so convinced that you're going to take it to the national level, recognizing that in January 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Prohibition Act after 18 years of our struggle. Recognizing also that the federal government of Nigeria, through President Muhammadu Buhari, has set up the Commission for Persons with Disability, with a person with disabilities as a leader in that commission. We've also seen the appointment of SA on disability, SSA on disability by Mr. President. We will encourage you, if your party gives you this mandate, for you to escalate up to special advisor status, for you to ensure that people with disabilities are part of ministers, are part of ambassadors, are part of heads of ministry, department agencies in this country. I bet you, with this movement you are moving with, not only that you are going to replicate it by yourself, but other governors, other actors will copy from you. Thank you so much for your declaration. I wish you success.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I quickly call next speaker, Alhaji Haruna Nzagu. We keep it at 1 minute, please, or under 1 minute, if we can. Is he in here? Right. Do we? Well, okay, so we'll just go straight to Barrister Marlin Daniel, Chairman Board of National Veterinary Institute.
His Excellency, sir, I want to congratulate you. I know you are a goal-getter. I had the opportunity to work with you in 2014 when we were preparing for the APC National Convention. And I know what you did. I was closely watching you. I know how passionate you were then, and I know the result we got. APC today, I think you consolidated it. I came into this place. When I was walking in, I saw somebody from my state. I'm from Bayelsa State. He's a PDP member. I said, what are you doing here? You are not from this party. we have not gotten to the general election. He said, well, he knows why he's here. His wife is from your state. And that they've been struggling over the years. But you came on board, you have empowered her, and today they are living on that empowerment. And that is why he's here. And that is why he's here. And I said, wow. His Excellency, I know you have 90% acceptance of Nigerians. Nigeria, as Nigerians, we know that there is a general conception that governors are not working. Actually, the governors are not working. But at the same time, we know the governors that are working. And fortunately, you are one of those that are working. So it is not hard. It is not going to be difficult for us to market you, even at the party level and at the general elections. And that is why I'm confident that you are going to be the next president. His Excellency, I have a problem. And I know that when you become a president, I want you to handle this for us. We from the South, you know the problem we have. Today, the major oil prospecting companies are leaving the Niger Delta. The reason is because of oil theft and hostilities in the Niger Delta. Our leaders from those areas, some of them I learned are contesting for president. Our leaders across party lines, instead of handling these issues, they are rather helping the boys to promote these hostilities. And as the companies are leaving, they are buying off their shares. They are buying off the properties from those companies, which is pathetic. Today, if you go to the hinterland of Niger Delta, you will see in a community, 95% of them are on drugs. If I go to my community, sometimes I feel like weeping when I see the boys. There is no life there, there is no encouragement there. And please, His Excellency, I know I'm taking your time, but it's a problem to us that have gotten this little enlightenment. Please, handle this thing for us when you become the president. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. And Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to put the royal seal on the goodwill messages, may I now call on His Royal Majesty Oba Rufus Adeyemo Aladesanmi, a we of Ado-Ekiti.
Your Excellency, our son, Your Excellency, the wife of the governor, deputy governor, Excellency Seyap, today is a great day. The life of the people of Ekiti State. When 10 of us left Ekiti yesterday, we came with the intention to be part of this village meeting to showcase our son to the APC family and Nigerians. But when we came this morning and we saw Senator Musum, who by this time tomorrow will be declaring for the same position. We are elated that yes, this our son is a worthy person. We are glad that he was fully prepared for this job. 2 times governor, 2 times chairman, Governors Forum, and a minister for the Republic of Nigeria. So what qualities then do we want or expect for somebody that will lead this great country of ours? And now today, we are lucky to be here, to have listened to the declaration speech from our son and the comment of everybody here. We are going back home to tell other traditional rulers, we are about 253 in the Ekiti State, that this our son is a worthy son. And we should do everything humanly possible to give him the encouragement. We are not politicians, we can't vote. We can't be part of the delegates that will vote. But we believe in God, that God is doing it this time to showcase the Ekiti State. And so we pray that God will do this for us and we'll be happy. So we pray for him. Good luck, sound health, and we continue to crisscross these great countries of ours, which are free. We thank all of you for coming, and we thank in particular Erelu for doing this job. Because, like the woman who came the other time, pointed to the program that Erelu is handling for the women folk. We believe our wife, our dear Erelu, will continue to be the pillar of success behind our son. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kabisi Oba Rufus Adeyemo Aladisomi, the we of Ado Ekiti. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're winding down on this declaration, and to thank you all for being a part of this event, let me now invite Mrs. Joy Ngozi, Chief Executive, Social Welfare for Widows, the Needy, and the Unemployed, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name, Peace Ambassador Joy Ngozi Kolawole. Why I'm kneeling down? Because I marry Yoruba. And I will kneel down again. Eku Joko, Ekabo, sir. Ejo, mo fẹ́ sọ Yoruba. I want to speak Yoruba before English. Is God? Somebody make comment in those days. There's God, though. I didn't know her name, sir. What you are doing, I didn't know you. Mama, I didn't know you, but I know you in the television. I always clap anytime you're speaking. And what you are doing in Ekiti. I married Oyo Ibadan. I'm a late second officer wife in the army, but he died at the age of 45 years. But since then, Papa in heaven is helping us. I'm here to thank everybody that is here for coming, to thank God for your life. What you are doing, you are not doing it alone. It's God. God give you the power and the knowledge and the wisdom. Mama, I thank you for being a good wife. Sir, Ekushe, sir. Now let me go to Igbo language. Mamani, Iriano Zono, Bikonu, I nekele Chideko no bachita. Makai neighbor. I'm not a politician, sorry. I run an NGO for widows, the needy. But I'm happy to be here because of our daddy. Ndewonu, unabiala, Chineke gozinu, unogela onolonu dona Jesus. Gbogbo Yorùbá, gbogbo Nigeria, akoro kodele o. Lagbara Lord, Daddy, I'm not a politician, but we pray for you. Let the will of God be done in Nigeria. Because widows need this. Like what Mama Kaswa de Kaswa, they didn't allow us to come out. People, we know what to say concerning this country. I know when you are there, by God's grace, you recognize more women. Thank you for everybody that is here today. May God bless you for coming. And you are going home, you will go home safely. In Jesus' name I pray.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a conclusion this declaration that has taken place here, in which Dr. John Kayode Fayemi unveiled his agenda for Nigeria. Let me just say, for those who unfortunately could not put in a question or two due to time constraints, I am told that Dr. Fayemi would respond to any issue you might have to raise outside in the hall. So I'd like to thank you once again for being here. We started this event acknowledging the position of our country, Nigeria. As we bring it to a conclusion, let us all once more rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, you've been watching the Ekiti State Governor, Kayode Fayemi, making his presidential declaration where he unveiled his vision for national prosperity and well-being, which he says is without malice and prejudice. He paid tribute to President Muhammadu Buhari and all other living former leaders while praising all Nigerians for their resilience, even as he promised to ensure youth empowerment when he becomes the president. He spoke on issues of women agenda, tackling impunity at all levels of government, and decentralization, among others.
That's right. During the interactive session, there were a lot of heated questions. A lot of them being targeted, of course, to the aspiring president. One of the questions that he was asked was when it came to involving women, and for that he listed what he had achieved in his history in terms of the name and shame policy, which was included when it came to dealing with gender-based violence and sexual-based violence, and he also addressed multiple issues.